Oh my goodness, this looks amazing. This is my first time doing this. Oh my goodness. Okay. Whew, I'm nervous. Okay. Bitch, let me tell you something. Hey, what's up? It's your girl DijahDiva, and you are tuned in live to the hashtag Diva Gang podcast. Look at the quality. Oh, we're moving on up. I'm sorry, this is the worst intro I've ever done. You are tuned in live to the hashtag Diva Gang podcast, where we discuss art, music, entertainment, pop culture, and have cultivating controversial conversations, honey. Now let's get into everything. You guys. Okay. I'm going to start off today's podcast with a whole bunch of splaining that I got to do. Okay. I have a bunch of splaining that I have to do. If you see me looking over and everything, it's my monitor, it's the camera. I'm just trying to make sure that my battery don't die. I'm nervous. So if this is a little choppity chop, please bear with me. I will try my best to get everything mushed together so that it looks great. But I know a lot of you guys are wondering, Dijah, where the fuck have you been? And I owe y'all an explanation because videos are supposed to be, the podcast is supposed to drop every Wednesday. This is my first time actually doing besides the last episode, which was kind of like an emergency episode, the Travis Scott situation. This is my first time having a video. And let me tell you why this is so important to me and why I was just doing like the stock photo logo of my podcast and not doing videos. Because videos, I am very, very much a perfectionist. My Virgo moon, I'm very much a perfectionist. I didn't want to produce video podcasts until I knew that the podcast looked right. I know that I should have worked with what I had to get it done, but long story short as to why I was gone so long, because y'all haven't seen me since November. This is still season 1, but honestly, you guys have not seen me in a long time because I had caught COVID. I got booked for a few shows. I caught COVID December 11th. I had COVID up until the beginning of January. My COVID story was very mild. I'll talk about that in another video form, not on my podcast. And then my birthday, and then Christmas, and then New Year's, and then all of this other shit. And in January, I had to use, and this is honest to God, the thing that is spreading this disease, and I'll get into depth about this, but the only thing that is spreading this disease so quick is poverty. Because people, they changed it from 14 days to 7 to 5 days and all this other shit. It doesn't matter. If you have COVID, you have COVID. And if you have COVID for 3 months, 2 months, your body will tell you when you are done with COVID. Period. And a lot of people have COVID, have long COVID, and people cannot miss work. People can't miss a month of work just because they have COVID for a month. So people are taking their COVID asses back to work and making money and getting everybody sick. People are not taken care of. I had COVID for 4 weeks. And not to mention the long COVID symptoms like the brain fog and the headaches and the memory loss and the fatigue and the loss of taste and smell. So, and honestly, it probably took me about 6 weeks to recover, honestly. It took me forever to test negative, and it was the holidays, and tests were scarce. So I got my results for the 22nd like a couple weeks ago. I took other tests after that, but I had COVID for a month. I had to go back to work, go back to making money, and I had to financially recover for the entire month of January and some of February from the fact that I wasn't able to work for the entirety of December. And that's honest. And a lot of y'all know my birthday is on December 19th. I miss my birthday. I miss Christmas. I miss Christmas Eve. I miss New Year's Eve. I miss all of these events. I had plans for my birthday I put money into already. The plans fell through because I got COVID. So I lost a lot of money that I still can't recover from to this day. I couldn't go to the store. I live relatively alone. I couldn't do anything. If I wanted something, I had to get a DoorDash, and that shit is expensive. So I had to take care of myself. So this whole shit, I have legit I had to be like, I had to get through COVID and then financially recover from having to quarantine and get through COVID. Now I'm back. We are going to be releasing episodes every week. Every single week, I will make another video to give y'all specific dates and everything. I'm still working it out and seeing how my availability is working, but you will be getting them every week. I will drop a promo video for a date sometime in the next 2 or 3 days, about every Wednesday or Thursday, whatever, at whatever time I will be dropping videos and podcast episodes. So I am working. You guys got to bear with me. I'm doing all this by myself. This is 100% independent. Now let's get into the real tea. Thandiwe, I don't know what your name is. Miss Newton. Girl, let me explain to y'all something. I saw the video. And people say videos, they take them out of context. No, nobody took your shit out of context. You said what you said. And at the end of the day, nobody at all, not a dark skin, not a trans woman, nobody asked for an apology. This was the apology nobody asked for. All you did was censor yourself, because it was very self-serving. And you made an ass of yourself. And I think that you're a brilliant actress. And look at me trying to cushion you with some compliments because of fragility. Let me go ahead and stop while I'm ahead. You have involved yourself in so many projects that perpetuated the worst of the worst for dark-skinned women and dark-skinned fat women. Nobody is asking white people to apologize for being white. It's okay to be white. It's okay to be straight. It's okay to be male. It's okay to be a lot of shit in privileged groups. An apology is not going to fix anything. And it's honestly kind of trivializing, because the problem isn't that you're light-skinned. No, the problem, it has nothing to do with your fucking skin color, actually. It has everything to do with the system that is in place that puts specific people to benefit and have progress and live life longer, live life at higher quality than other people. You don't have shit to do with that. That decision was made hundreds of years before you were born, Miss Newton. However, what I can say is that all you can do is use the small amount of privilege that you have, because you're still a Black woman. But that light-skin privilege, use that to be a beacon of light and to be of not only assistance, but to release yourself of being complicit of colorism that you have benefited from. All of the time, because all of the colorism and all of the gender colorism that is perpetuated in Hollywood, you didn't make it, you didn't create it, but you've benefited from it. Nobody's telling you to not eat. Nobody's telling you not to work. Nobody wants an apology. It's very performative, and that's like the perfect example of virtue signaling. You have, and the issue is nobody's telling you not to work. Nobody's telling you not to take jobs. Nobody's telling you to do any of that. But what you can do is you can provide small opportunities, whatever you can, for people that you claim that you care about, like dark-skinned women. Taking our men, taking our roles. You didn't take shit. You didn't take shit. It was never correctly allocated towards the people it needed to be allocated to. You benefit from a privileged group. And what you do with your benefits is you share them. As much as you cried and apologized, we don't want apologies. we really don't want much from, nobody asked. Nobody gave a fuck until you got on camera and started crying. And it still was about you, about your struggle as being the light-skinned girl when you moved to the United States. All of that. All of that shit was very self-serving. You don't care about dark-skinned women. You are alleviating yourself of some form of guilt that you feel from the awareness of colorism that is happening at this moment. When people paint the streets and say Black Lives Matter and make statues of George Floyd, that shit don't matter. Nobody asked for that. We asked for no more George Floyds to happen. I don't like symbols of progress. I like actual progress. And I also feel like nobody asked y'all that video they had all the white actors. I'm sorry. Nobody asking y'all for an apology. What we're asking for is opportunity. What we're asking for is for our lives to not be at stake because of the color of our skin. What dark-skinned women are asking for is to get paid properly in the industry. It's to be able to do roles, to be able to have more complicated roles than being a stripper, hoe, prostitute, drug dealer wife. Slave. That's what we want. And you are not in a position to provide that at that mega Hollywood level. Yes, we get that. You are no Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg. However, what I will say is whatever you can do, do it. Sometimes silence and funding quietly is your best form of activism. You don't always have to talk. And that's the problem with a lot of privileged people, light-skinned, cisgendered, heterosexual, rich people, white people. That's the issue with a lot of y'all. Y'all are not used to not taking the center, so you overstep, overtalk, and make a damn fool of yourself. Because nobody asked for the apology. Point blank in the fuck period, nobody asked for an apology. Nobody needs an apology. Your apology, I'm sorry, it doesn't fix shit. It doesn't even make you feel better. Because that's all you did it for. I want for as many of y'all claim as guilty, upset about racial injustice and all of this, as upset as y'all position yourselves to be, do something. Do something. Why don't all the light-skinned women in Hollywood band together and do a strike until more dark-skinned women are seen on screen? You won't do that because you, at the end of the day, have to make sure you get paid and line your pockets. If you really want to advocate for change, all of these people getting mad at Colin Kaepernick, all of them football players should have striked. If you really give a damn, you have to pull some Martin Luther King shit on this Black History Month, in the middle of Black History Month. Ain't that a shame? You gotta pull some freedom rider shit. You have to pull some sit-in shit, some Montgomery bus boycott shit, some Nat Turner shit. Those people risk their lives to solve a problem that they didn't create, that they don't benefit from. We are weak. Us Black people today, we're weak. And I know that we don't want to keep on continuing the struggle. The people from the yesteryears, they put themselves in a position so Black people can relax today. I get that. However, the amount of things that we could band together and strike and do the right thing for and cause a ruckus for, those things, because all we do is protest and have a temper tantrum. We don't actually do something that's consistent every day to say, hey, we're not going to be used. Y'all benefit from us. We saying deuces. During the time where, and we can't even not make a TikTok dance to a specific one song for the greater goodness of other Black TikTok creators that are not getting paid and getting stolen from. Remember when Megan Thee Stallion dropped that shit? All Black TikTokers said, we're not making a video, we're not making a dance to this song. And it was still Negroes making dances to the song because self-preservation was more important to us than it was for revolution. And that's what pissed me off about you, Thandiwe. All of you light-skinned actors, all of the heterosexual actors, all of the cisgender, anybody who holds a privileged group, able-bodied actors, all of us, we all are guilty of choosing self-preservation over equity and equality for those who struggle more than us. You don't give a damn. Because if you gave a damn, then you probably wouldn't have taken half of the roles that you've taken. I don't want to, you don't fool me. I can read through bullshit. Nobody asked for an apology. An apology is an easy way to act as if you did something revolutionary. Crying on camera is an easy way to pretend like you did something revolutionary. People who get down and gritty and down with the dirty work and actually are moving mountains and creating revolutions that are going to last within the test of time, those people are generally not crying on camera, garnering sympathy, self-serving. Those people are doing their job and they're going about their business, and probably those are the most forgotten people. And I'm doing my Black History video. I know I'm late on a few, give me a minute. But I'm doing my Black History videos, and some of the most revolutionary Black history icons, they never got their credit. They didn't get a day. They didn't get a month. They didn't get nothing. Most of the biggest revolutionaries are some of the most forgotten people. So for me, I think your apology was virtue signaling. I think that it was self-serving. I think you were trying to figure out some pseudo way to alleviate some of the guilt that you've carried. And I don't think that you created the problem. And I feel like you wanted people to, you did the opposite of what you was trying to, you made it about you when you were saying that you wanted to make it about darker skinned women. And let me tell you something. And I know this is gonna be controversial, but y'all know where I'm from. This is why a lot of y'all have to be careful when y'all are interracially dating and procreating. Because this is what you create. You create a whole bunch of kids with an identity crisis who hold some mental form of superiority over people of that unambiguous racial group. You got to do better on that. If you're like, I'm just sitting here like, bitch, you want us to think that you suffer colorism because you got a dark-skinned mama? Get the fuck out of here. And I don't hate you, but ain't nobody talking to you and giving it to you like a real. Everybody is coddling and petting you because that is what we do to people with the most amount of privilege and access. I don't get it. I will never understand it. I feel like the people with the most amount of privilege and access should be the people that's getting talked shit about the most. But let me do something. Let a dark-skinned woman, let Azalea Banks go off and have a tantrum. Dark-skinned women, fat women, Black women, we don't have that leeway to be able to have a tantrum and be like, ooh, baby, ooh. No, we don't get that. When stuff happens to us, we deserve it. Even when the wrong thing happens to us, people make excuses. We can't advocate for ourselves. If we say, oh, that hurt me. Oh, that was violent towards me. Oh, that's detrimental to my livelihood. Oh, all Black women do is complain. We angry. And you get to sit there. It's a privilege for you to get to sit there and cry. That's all I gotta say. You virtue signaling, if you want to know the definition of virtue signaling, watch the video. Next on the docket, we are going to be discussing the Corday album. First of all, from a bird's eye view, I love Corday. And even last year or something, when I was talking about Double XL, Corday, when he was with Megan Thee Stallion, Rico Nasty and all them, Corday was one of the people that did the best freestyle. Between him and Tierra Whack and Megan Thee Stallion, those people did the best. I love Corday. I'm happy he dropped the YBN because he's, setting himself apart from the pack. I love that. I loved this album. First of all, the intro, I never in a million years thought that an intro/interlude would be one of my favorite tracks on the album. These interludes were crazy. The cover is gorgeous. It is so pretty. Look at that cover. So gorgeous. And I really, really love the intro. John Michael is a good song. Super is so turned up, but it's also like real bars and real, Mama's Hood is great. Shine today. We're going to find a way. I'm so mad that I missed the concert this past weekend. C. Carter, Sinister, Chronicles. I'm going to be honest. We're going to talk about this later, another video. I'm not a huge fan of her. I think she's very talented and everything, but I'm not like a big her fan like a lot of people are. But she slid on Chronicles. Champagne Glasses with the legendary Stevie Wonder in production is amazing. Parables, that chorus is nasty. Spitting, spitting. And low key, you guys, Corday, you ate Eminem the fuck up. You ate him up. I really Gifted is a great song. I'm also not a huge Roddy Ricch fan, but I feel like he slid in the chorus. I am like, you started to make me look at some of these features. You have Lil Durk on here, Gunna, and it's most of these people are people that I like, but I'm not a huge fan of. But you know, your music is so good that it made me hear them in a different light. I really enjoy From a Bird's Eye View. A plus album. The only thing that I would change, not change, but look at, the energy was a little lost at the middle, maybe some sequencing issues. I do think that the album is amazing. I do think that the interludes do transition the album better. If you didn't have these interludes, the sequencing would be a little off. I think that Shiloh's intro would be lit. I think that that next song being next was great. I like the fact that you did like a really barsy song and then you put like the more upbeat, up-tempo song next, and then you went down again. The album really, not quality, because I love every song on this album, but the energy was like, It was just a high dip, and that sequencing can be a strategy. But for this album, I wish that it was like, okay, we're here, we're going down. If you're going to do the peaks and valleys, I feel like you have to build your way to the highs and build your way back down to the lows. And I feel like the interludes really help with that. But I also feel like the interludes, if they, it's not about shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I feel like the music should also do that, and it shouldn't just be so dependent on interludes, which a lot of rap albums do. I do think that I would have liked to hear Shiloh's intro, John Michael, C. Carter, and then Super, and then maybe coming down with Today, and then getting into Sinister and Chronicle. Like, I would have appreciated to see the high tempo songs and then go down, and then we're gonna go back up gradually. Like Lemonade kind of does that. It starts low and it builds and it comes back down. Then it goes back up. Then it comes back. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how I feel about the sequencing. But all overall, flawless album. I love this album. Today is an amazing song. My favorite song from this entire album, I think, is going to be for the intro. I love the intro. I love Today. I love Chronicles, and I love Gifted and Parables. Those are my favorite songs on the album. Now, the next topic that I really wanted to discuss is I wanted to discuss the whole Tasha K situation. I know I'm about a second too late, but I really wanted to talk about it. Girl, it's going to take a little bit of a minute because I wrote down some notes. Number one, because y'all already know, I'm the racism, colorism, fat phobia, homophobia type. Yeah, I'm the bitch that's going to always bring it up because it's present in everything on this planet. You are a dark-skinned, older, Black woman. We get shot in the streets like a dog by the police for little to nothing. I hate to take it there, but I'm taking it there. If you want the shallow shit, go listen to Joe Budden's podcast. Even if you were in the right and you did nothing wrong, you already didn't stand a chance against an ambiguous, light-skinned, rich, young, famous woman. You didn't stand a chance at all, not even a little bit. So my issue is, if we're treated with injustice when we're right, then we probably should reduce the amount of times when we're wrong. You didn't stand a chance either way. I remember these videos. Shout out to Lovely T. I know she's gonna kill me. Shout out Discord, Patreon. But let me explain to you this. You had people in your community, other Black, dark-skinned people around your age, a whole queer, dark-skinned people in the industry of YouTube. You had all types of YouTubers telling you not to do it. I've been following this since it began. You didn't verify anything. You didn't see if everything checked out the way it was supposed to. You didn't get no inside scoop. So many YouTubers told you, you already fucked up, but you can fix it. You had all of 2018, 2019. You had so much time to just be humble and say, made a mistake. Let me take that down. I'm sorry. This wasn't the right move. In order to maintain my journalistic integrity, let me make sure I'm humbling myself and saying this wasn't the right thing to do. So many YouTubers that came to you in private and in public, telling you that this was not the route you wanted to go. And your ego said, fuck y'all. I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do. And that's why you're here, Miss Tasha K. Lovely T told you. Malibu Dollface told you. Candace told you. A whole bunch of people told you not to do this. And after you did it, they told you, hey, you can fix it. And you didn't do it. And let me tell you something that I just wanted to get out. I watch the T channels. I watch the Drag Race, Butterface, and I watch all of the channels. I watch Troy's TV, Lovely T, Malibu Dollface, Zachary Campbell. I watch all of these commentators and these journalists and these tea sippers, all of these people. I watch these people. And let me tell you what makes me want to unsubscribe. When certain YouTubers, especially in the commentary tea world, have vendettas against specific people or entities of people. I stopped watching a lot of your favorite YouTubers that are sitting at millions of followers who constantly keep the same people in their mouth. You ain't paying attention to no other news that broke about nobody else. Nothing else is more important. Nothing else is more relevant and current. You have a consistent vendetta against one person. And Tasha K, this was not your first, second, third, fourth, or eighth millionth video about Cardi B, the one that got you in trouble. You consistently made videos you didn't like the girl. For whatever reason, you didn't like her. I get it if you don't like her. Not everybody gonna be liked. Why couldn't you just not like Cardi B and say it with your chest and keep it at that? Why did you have to do whatever it took for you to be able to tear this woman down? If you don't like somebody, just don't like them and keep it pushing. But you had a personal vendetta, which jaded your common sense. And you were willing to put yourself in a situation, in any situation, where any bad news, true or false, arose for her, just so you could support how the fuck you already felt. It was dumb. It was extremely stupid. And for you to have been in these YouTube streets longer than most of these young folk, you have to learn. And that's why sometimes I feel like certain things that you do on the internet, whether it be tea, whatever you do on the internet, some of you bitches probably need to be mandated to take a course. Because anybody who took any course, conference, online web school of any type of commentary, learning how to do this, would know that you do not run fake stories, especially about people who have money and access to legal counsel. You don't do it. It's defamation of character. I can get on here and say Cardi B can't rap, she ugly, she whack. I can say those are opinions. I can't say, oh, Cardi B, she grows feathers at night. She can sue me for that. Why? Because it's not true. You don't get the right to be slanderous and say untrue things, even for people you don't like, even for problematic people. I can't get on here and say whatever the fuck I want to about R. Kelly, even though he's awful and terrible and everybody hate him. You can't lie. You cannot ever get on camera and lie. And let me tell you something. If none of you YouTubers and myself included, if you didn't learn anything from this, then you let a great lesson pass you by. You let an amazing lesson pass you by. And what I mean by that is now you're learning that shit can and will get real. You cannot just get on YouTube, put on a camera, and start talking. I know all of this podcast it just look like we chopping and shooting the shit. It's not true. There's a lot of intricate detail that goes into doing commentary, podcasts, whatever you do. You cannot just turn on the camera and say whatever the fuck you feel and whatever the fuck you want to say. Period. Every time I do a podcast, a video, I got my notes on my phone, my whiteboards. I write notes. The Travis Scott thing, I notated everything. I have receipts for everything just in case shit hit the fan. You cannot say whatever the fuck you want to say. And for you to have been on YouTube for as long as you've been on YouTube and made as much money as you made, you should fucking know better. And another thing, and this is another thing that other creators like myself need to be aware of. This just set a precedent of some shit that can go down for all of us. Now other celebrities are seeing this shit. Even if we're doing right, it's always, and for the past couple years, I've noticed it with all of it, for the real and the news. They watch these YouTubers. They be watching the Lovely Teas and the Daytime Tea Times and the Malibu Dog. They watch it. They regurgitate it and all types of shit. They're watching YouTube, Disney, Revolt TV. They be flagging people videos all the time. All the time. And let me tell you something. All of these celebrities, these stations, Fox News, Viacom, CNN, all of these big names are going to start intimidating other content creators just for us speaking truth to power. We already get our shit demonetized and flagged and taken down when we say the wrong shit, when we trying to empower the wrong people. You put a whole genre of people on YouTube, content creators, at risk for not even being able to get to your level. We already have a hard time because a lot of us already get our shit taken down every 6 seconds. TikTok can't stand me. You put a lot of people who are not even at your level, people who still working 9 to 5s who do this and hoping that this will take off. You put all of us at risk. Because a lot of us don't even have money to be able to defend ourselves in the first place. A lot of us was just going to have to settle out in court and surrender. And surrendering for you and for us there are 2 different types of surrendering. This started a precedent. And I should be able to give my opinion and commentary report, whatever the fuck I want to on my page. But you taking that freedom, not only from yourself, but you probably take that freedom away from people like me. Your cohorts, your community, and the people who are going to be affected by this the most are going to be Black content creators. You didn't think of that. You didn't think to humble yourself for a second, not just for you, but for the Lovely Teas, and for the Zachary Campbells, and for the Malibu Dollfaces, and for the DijahDivas and #Diva Gang podcast, and for all of these low-level people on my same level who do content creating. You put all of us at risk because you couldn't be humble enough to admit that you made a motherfucking mistake. And it sucks because you already made your money. I don't think you realize that the bigger picture is, Cardi B, you don't think Beyonce and Jay-Z and P. Diddy, all these other people are taking key? For all of the people that be trying to hold all of them accountable on YouTube? They be like, okay, if she say something fucked up by me, I'm going to just sue her ass off and I'm going to just wipe out all of these damn bitches. You don't think that these TV stations are watching? It was very selfish. People are not digging into this as deep as they should be. But it's going to affect a lot of us it's going to affect us small people first. And then it's going to get to the big people. But it's going to be Black people and small people who are going to be taking the brunt of this new world order of the internet because of this Cardi B situation. Because Cardi B had every right to sue you. She had every right to do everything that she did. Because you don't have the right. And let me tell you something else. You also perpetuated a negative stigma about STDs and STIs. Your platform. When you make people feel sorry or bad, because even if she did have whatever, she doesn't, but even if she did have herpes, you do not get to out people's sexual status. You don't get to do it. You don't get to out people's medical information. You don't get to do that. I'm sorry, you don't. It wasn't funny when we did it to Usher. It's not funny when we do it to anybody else. You don't get to do that because outing people like that will cause them to actually be depressed and want to take themselves out. You don't get to do it. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. Where's your fucking morals? And there's so many people, young Black men and women, who are suffering and have STDs and STIs, and people don't. Comments like that, shit like that, is the reason why people don't get tested. It's a reason why people get killed for having all of that shit. And then you got on camera after the verdict and made yourself the victim. The machine was against me, as if you were speaking truth to power, as if you was talking about George Floyd, as if you was talking about Breonna Taylor, as if you was talking about the pandemic, as if you was talking about anything conspiracy theories, as if you was taking a stand for trans rights and women's rights, as if you was saying, no, bitch, you was just trying to out Cardi B. You was just talking shit about Cardi B. You do not need the community, the Black community, the people against the machine, the anarchists, to support you talking shit about a celebrity. We got bigger fish to fry. The machine is against people who get on YouTube and speak truth to power. The machine is against people who are out there protesting and risking their lives so that people that are disenfranchised can have freedom and liberties. Those are the people. You are no Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, or Harriet Tubman, bitch. You are none of that of the internet world. I'm sorry. There's way more people on the internet that have done way more table shaking than you will ever. And the one thing that I always knew, and I stopped following you around 2019, because one thing I did respect about Tasha K, and I'll give her this, she was one of the few to begin speaking about the R. Kelly situation. She got backlash for it, and then when it was on Lifetime, everybody wanted to be a part of it for clicks and views. But even with the R. Kelly story, you continuously put more sauce on the story. You couldn't just tell the story straight. You had to figure out what else you could add on top of it to make your version of the story more interesting. And that's the issue. Because you're very talented, you're very charismatic, you're very persuasive. The way that you do the wine, your branding is fire. How about you let your branding, your personality, your charisma, your talent, let that sell the video and boost the video, not you embellishing upon details. You're too talented for that. You are too charismatic for that. The Cardi B thing, you could have talked your shit about Cardi B and used your charisma and kept it pushing. But no, you had to add something else on top. And Cardi B was going to win regardless. I don't know. And whoever was your legal team, whatever, you don't have a hefty price to pay. You can't afford this lawsuit. You keep on pretending like your money is long, and I guess you got to save face because your pride is hurt. But I'm going to be honest, pride goeth before the fall. Pride has killed so many people on this planet. Pride is one of the most deadliest things a person can have. I need you to humble yourself because you did the wrong thing, and you know you did the wrong thing. That's why you couldn't look at the camera in the face and speak with your chest. You kept looking down. You had to write shit down. No, you know you did the wrong thing. And now you're trying to garner sympathy. And you're trying to use a lot of loaded and emotionally invoking language so you can get Black people. I know the coded language to get black women or black people to be by your side. I know Cardi B is ambiguous. I know she black one day, Hispanic the next, white. I know she'd be having 8 billion different ethnicities and personalities and shit like that. However, you don't get to weaponize the plight of black women, dark skin. You don't get to weaponize that to support you when you did the sister wrong. I don't give a fuck what color Cardi B was. White, yellow, brown, or purple. Zebra print. You don't get to get on camera and lie about people and put their mental health, their career, their lives at stake. You don't get to do it. I would have the same energy even if you don't get to do it. You don't get to do it. That's not something that you get to do. Now, the next thing that I wanted to discuss, this feels so good, you guys. I miss you guys. The next thing that I wanted to discuss was, this is going to be a pretty decent length podcast, Lick by Shenseea and Megan Thee Stallion. Now, let's just go ahead and get into it. The orgasm gap is real. You men only like sex when you are doing it to somebody. Sex always has to be something that happens to women. But as soon as women take control over their bodies, everybody's in an uproar. And let me tell you something. Black men in America are behind, but Black Island men are way behind. They don't eat pussy. They don't do none of that shit. And they say, "Oh, you promoted lesbian behavior." Okay, lesbians are cool. What the fuck? Like, it was so much backlash about the song. People say it was trash. It's not a trash song. Is it original? Is it anything different from what we have right now? No. Is the beat very reminiscent of WAP? Yes, it is. The beat is unoriginal. The video is unoriginal. The video looks like a mix between Juicy by Tyga and Doja Cat featuring Tyga and WAP, but like a cheaper version. She says she doesn't want to be in a box, and I get that. She doesn't have to. And this is another. We're gonna talk about this on another video. We don't have to. Every black woman in hip hop does not have to be a dignified rapper. She don't have to be the conscious rapper or the rapper with the most bar. Why can't we just have women that want to pop their pussy? Y'all got niggas talking about selling drugs and shooting niggas every 6 seconds. Why can't women do the same thing? Like, allow women to be able to explore fun elements of hip hop and not always having to talk about police brutality. Why, like, everybody, niggas who be like, "Oh, my favorite female rapper is not Foxy Brown, is Lauryn Hill." Like, nigga, shut the fuck up. Because you can't say, "Oh, the female rappers, they be whack. They don't be rapping like Lauryn Hill." And you sit up here and you listen to NBA Youngboy, you listen to Trippie Redd, you listen to all this other bullshit that ain't got no type of diversity in it, but you expect dignified shit from female rappers. Get the fuck out of here. Ain't nobody gotta appease you. Women gotta be rapping and held to this high-ass, debutante-ass, HBCU-ass standard, but niggas get to be in the gutter and have fun and you get to kick it. Fuck out of here. I think the controversy behind the song is stupid. Do I like the song? Sure, it's fun. It's fun in the club. Lick, lick, lick. Get down on your knees. It's cute. Shenseea is very beautiful, very talented. Megan Thee Stallion ate the fuck up. She ate the verse. She ate you, low key. The song is just it's very unoriginal. And I can take a sex song. Because the thing is, when it comes down to sexualize women and all this other stuff, because let me tell you something on top of that. Dance hall music is not dignified at all. Most dance hall music, if not all of it, is about fucking and sucking and humping. So let's get the fuck ASAP. Conjugal Visit by Spice. Oh, so me like it. That's about pussy and fucking and throwing it back. So let's stop with this dignified bullshit. She has the right to be able to explore other pieces of her art. However, do I feel like she could have done this in a more original way? Absolutely. The video, the production, everything could have been done in a more original way. The song is average, and the best part of the song is Megan Thee Stallion. Let's get on to the next topic. at hand. Because I'm going to be doing a lot of music reviews. Something for the Hotties by Megan Thee Stallion. I know that these are old. I like this a little less than Tina Snow, but a little more than Fever. This is this is your second best mixtape. I really enjoyed it. I really did. You put most of the freestyles that you already had on Instagram on there and everything. But Warning is a great song. Eat It, all of it. God's Favorite, Opposite Day, Bless the Booth, freestyle. It's just this whole project made me feel like we're getting back to like old Megan. I'm really, really happy to see that because but you know what? I want you to here's one thing, Megan, because you my sister. You posted me on your story and everything. I want to make it very clear to you, you do not have to keep up with the Kardashians. And what I mean by that is, I can't believe I said that name on my podcast, but anyways, you are in a league of your own. You've already accomplished so much so early. I don't want you to try to keep up with momentum. The momentum needs to keep up with you. You don't have to keep releasing stuff every 6 seconds to stay current, especially after the year that you went through like last year and the year before that. You deserve rest and restoration. And also, I believe that you're, because I felt this way with the album. I wish you had taken just a little bit more time. Just take more time. Stop trying to rush and meet deadlines in your head. Take your time because the music sounds better when it's done with love and just with natural energy. The album, to me, the Good News album, sounded very much rushed. It sounded like you was hurrying up and trying to follow up and follow up. I want you to know that you have a steady fan base. You don't have to be on the polar opposite end and being inconsistent like some of your other friends. We'll talk about that later. But I do think that you have a decent enough amount of work, accolades, everything for you to be able to not have to release music every 6 seconds. I do not want you to burn out because you have only been out for as far as the world knows since 2018. You are 4 years into your career. You have dropped 1, 2, 3, 4 mixtapes and 1 album and countless singles. You have been on everybody's feature and you have featured everybody. There's nowhere else to go if you continue to release as much product as you've released. Calm down. You have plenty of time. You're only, 25, 26 years old? You have plenty. You have more of your life ahead of you than you have behind you. You have more time in your career ahead of you than you have behind you. You can calm down and slow down and make your music, and we will be here waiting to listen. You're not at the Rihanna Beyonce level. However, you are nowhere near the ground. I think you still think that you're on the ground trying to grind. And I understand that the grind and the hustle don't stop. And I'm not saying to stop hustling and grinding. What I am saying is I want you to take more time with your babies. And your babies is your music. Now, another thing that I wanted to discuss with you guys is that this podcast means a lot to me. And when it comes down to mental health, resources, just trying to have a steady flow of things going, being prepared and planned out, everything, just trying to make sure I'm doing this as professionally and as consistent as possible. It's tough. So if you want to help to contribute to my platform in a way, go to DijahDiva.com. It's in the link in the bio. And you can send me a tip. You can buy me a coffee. You can subscribe to my Patreon. I really want to be in a position where I'm doing this full time, and having the resources to not only produce content beyond this level, because this is pretty gorgeous, but I also want to be able to do more content, be more consistent, and just have the access to do what I need to do. This is a lot. This takes a lot out of me. It takes a lot of energy. Everything I'm doing is homemade. Nobody's helping me with nothing. I'm doing my own makeup, fixing my own hair. I'm doing all of this shit on my own, from my appearance to everything else. And if you really want to be a part of #Diva Gang, make sure that you go to my Patreon and you can subscribe for $5, $10, $15, or $25 a month. You get exclusive behind the scenes access, bonus episodes, you get things earlier. And when I start doing shows, which I've already started, and when I start dropping merchandise, which is coming really soon, you'll get promo codes and exclusive things. You can order first and your stuff will come in earlier. So I'm saying that this is really tough to do. It takes a lot of emotional, mental, it takes a lot of energy to do this. And I'm so happy to be back. I was gone for a long time. I will have everything mapped out and scheduled for you guys. It will be on all my social media platforms. It will in the next couple of days. I'm so excited to be back, and thank you for tuning in to the 10th episode of the #Diva Gang podcast. This is still the first season. It's probably 1.5 at this point, but bye, divas.